Hello, it's Marina from the Butterfly Effect, and this is a reading for my Virgo males. I am sort of doing these weekly, but they're sort of developing into kind of monthly. So because it is just a Virgo male reading and I don't have a lot of male viewers, even though you might be cross-watching for one, I would say this is a January/February reading. So, okay. I've got a mature man down here, and I'm not sure if this is the Virgo male I'm reading for, or indeed the Virgo male I'm reading for who's looking back at his life is the Knight of Swords in reverse here, who has actually got someone else pregnant who was probably not his wife. So his entire trajectory is to look backwards. So it's a sort of, that's why I'm not saying it's a weekly reading, because he's not moving forward yet. I do have him coming through as the King of Cups in the future here, looking towards his future. But at the moment he may still be very much embroiled in this, or he's in a sort of place of calm even. There's maybe a return to peace indicated here, but this story in itself has been fairly traumatic. Now, I can't, as I say, be clear as to which one I'm reading for. I mean, obviously, I would, if it's my mature man down here, he's been worried sick about this situation. And he's felt very powerless in this situation. He's probably had to spend a lot of time alone dealing with this. He's, the woman or his wife that he's been dealing with here has, I think, got pregnant by this Knight of Swords. So a younger man, basically, probably an air sign, maybe a Gemini. And there's been gossip about this. So I think this is something that's got out. And he may have actually chosen to stand by his woman here, or this Knight of Swords did. One of them did, because I have my main female, high honor, and imprisonment here. So someone has decided or chosen to do what they consider the honourable thing here and stand by a pregnancy. And I don't know if it's the mature man that's got her pregnant, but she's had an affair with the Knight of Swords. But there's definitely a pregnancy here. I have my stork card right next to my lady. I do have the Death card in reverse here. But I also have it with the Seven of Cups. So this is a love that's turned sour. It can even be someone who is very self-loathing. This could be the female, or it could be the man who's had the affair with the female, or it could be the man who's maybe stood by the female. But this is turned really, 5 and 9 spades, really, really sour indeed. It's maybe a woman's even afraid of one of these men, and that's why they've stayed. But it's ultimately something that should have ended with the Death card in reverse here. This is hope destroyed. This pregnancy has destroyed someone's hopes. It's someone who's felt stuck in this situation, imprisoned by it. And I think it's the pregnancy that's triggered this, but there seems to be an affair that's been involved here. So it could have been hidden for a while. There's the Five of Swords here looking back, so there's been a lot of fighting over this what would you call it, situation. Someone does look very smug here. I mean, if this Knight of Swords is the one that got this, and I would say it was an older female pregnant, he actually seems pretty chuffed with himself about it. But nobody wins in this situation. Nobody wins in this situation. And this has ultimately resulted in the end maybe of a different relationship that one of them is involved in, or the courtship itself. And I think it's probably affected someone financially, for sure, at some point. Again, I don't know if it's my Virgo male that I'm reading for here, and whether he's the Knight of Swords in reverse or whether it's the mature man. There's been a huge amount of conflict here. There's been lies. There's been a lack of communication. Conflict in the main, because the Two of Cups is in reverse. This relationship is broken up. With the Anchor, it's been a very heavy situation. It's maybe gone on, you know, behind closed doors here. This public room can be just keeping things private and, you know, away from prying eyes. It doesn't need to be like a household. It can actually be the courtroom, because I do have adjudication come up here. So however long this is played out for, ultimately it's resulted in someone getting a divorce, having felt trapped for a very long time, having felt very powerless in a situation, and debilitated. Go ahead with your own life, leave me alone. I mean, in this family room, in this relationship breakup, there might even have been some violence here with this combination. I have to say, there might have been some physical fighting between maybe these two men. Yeah, it's tears, it's blood, it's war. It does eventually come to an end, and I think that's where this Virgo man is here. Got the Ten of Wands in reverse here, so this is dropping the burden of this. The Eight of Swords in reverse, finally coming out of your head. If it is you know how to switch it, Virgo. And no longer feeling trapped by this situation, and becoming the King of Cups, moving on to a more heart-filled space. You've got your cup up here, and you're sort of, you know, I would say you're ready to go, but I don't think you are. I think you're in very much a period of solitary contemplation. You're evaluating your life, your goals. It's quite a lonely card, and I think that's what you're doing here. You're sort of like reliving what has played out here, and trying to, you know, work out what you want from your life now, or how the frick did it happen? How did it get so like crazy? It does feel very crazy. You may be looking to communicate with someone here. I think you might be waiting on your money coming in, maybe from the divorce. There does sort of, I think that's a little bit up in the air still, because I do have this Ten of Spades here, and this is ruin, but ultimately it's saying the worst is over, so it's a return to peace. And we do have the adjudication and the thoughts and toil and labor. So this is maybe thinking of going to court, thinking of suing someone, or actually just contemplating, you know, your day in court with the divorce lawyers. But this is really hard work with toil and labor here. So this is taken quite some time. It's probably going to cost you financially, Virgo, with my King of Pentacles in reverse here. But this is also trying to hold on to your money. This is someone who's really quite stingy. With the Four of Pentacles, you may have reason to be. You know, if someone has cheated on you, got to, you know, pregnant by another man, you might not want to give them any of your bloody money. So you've been very, very stubborn about this, and you're trying to maybe even hide money away from this person before it gets into court. You may be sort of looking for your escape route here, so putting your, you know, siphoning a little bit of your assets off here so they don't get in front of the judge. There is, if this is you with the King of Hearts, and it's very much the King of Cups here, you know, I do sort of see you returning to a place of peace, a place of hope for the future. And it really just is a case of putting this all behind you. You probably spent a long time looking back at this. And now I do see you at some point moving forward. I don't really have a timing on that, do I? Maybe. I think you might be waiting on the communication, but you're keeping it to yourself. So even if you were to get money through, it's not something you want to share. And this is where you're at. This is who I'm reading for. What you're trying to initiate here is your own grounding. I think you're trying to learn from your past mistakes. Look at the heart of the matter. I think that's what you have been doing, Virgo, with my Oak Man. He's very stable. He's very patient. And try and just learn from your mistakes and initiate something new and more hopeful for the future here, basically. So a short one for my Virgo males. And advice card. Advice card for my Virgo males, please, Spirit. What advice can you offer my Virgo male? Advice for my Virgo male. Be brave and honest. Right, I begin to think I'm reading for the night now. Ow. Here we go. Enjoy success and happiness and be brave and honest. Oopsie, hang on. I've not really got this new tripod where it should be, the night. Let me just have a wee look at him. He's a noisy boy. You can live your life, but not on my time. I don't care what you say anymore. This is my life. The night. There we go. The energy of respect is important now. You are being encouraged to figure out what is important to you and what you stand for. If you're in a space where there's opposition, you're being guided to follow through with integrity, because even if it seems this will slow your progress, your rewards will be much more abundant. You're being surrounded by a light of bravery to help you. This card also brings justice. If you are longing for justice, please know that the universal energies are working to bring everything back in order, and you don't need to force anything through with your will. If you have made any mistakes recently, it's important to take ownership of them so that you can align yourself with improving the situation. If you are feeling the need to defend your spiritual path at this time, back down and let it protect you. Do the right thing, even if it isn't the easiest option, and stand for who you know, what you know to be true and right, and that will ultimately bring in the sun. Enjoy success and happiness. This is a timeline card, Virgo, and it is obviously the summertime, so you might be looking to June for all of this to come to fruition, because I am very conscious his eyes are closed here, and I still think you're still looking back at the past here in contemplative mode. And it may take a wee while before you're, able to move on in a more positive direction. But that's for my Virgo males. Please like, please subscribe, please comment below if it resonates, and I wish you all the best. Bye bye.